So, remember when I said you're gonna want to check out my video about resiliency? Well, the video has finally arrived. Hey everyone, welcome to my fourth and final UT Mental vlog. Today, we're talking about resiliency, and I want to share with you my experience with resiliency and what I call my Resiliency Iceberg. I define resiliency as the ability to keep moving forward when an obstacle comes your way. The obstacle may be stressful, embarrassing, or really get you down, but in the end, you'll learn and grow from overcoming it. Resiliency is the ability to bounce back, but it's not always an easy thing to do. Sometimes, you need help to overcome your problems. You need to vent it out, get somebody else's perspective, or just get somebody's compassion. For instance, there were several times during my undergraduate life where I decided to talk to a counselor when my problems got too overwhelming, and it really helped me to put things into perspective. Now this is where I get personal, and it's gonna get weird. Often I'd let things get so overwhelming to the point that I had to see a counselor. Notice the emphasis on the had to. Seeing someone to get help and talk about my problems is not something I wanted to do willingly. That's just because of my personality. I'm not one to easily open up and share what I go through. As a matter of fact, doing this is kind of awkward for me right now. Why am I like this? I guess it's because I feel like the problems I'm facing are mine to bear. I don't want to add more worries into other people's life. But most importantly, it's because I felt that by opening up and sharing my problems, I was put in a very vulnerable position. I felt like sharing what I was going through made me weak. So what would I do? I'd bottle it up and try to deal. And sometimes I actually managed to deal with my problems and solve them by myself. But at other times, it became too much for me to bear as they accumulated and I'd implode. It wasn't a very fun place to be in, and I don't recommend anyone to do this. I'd pretend like everything in my life was going okay. I'd show face in front of my friends, my family, my colleagues, but as soon as I'd come home and be alone, I'd be a complete mess. Since I didn't share what I was going through, my entourage weren't aware of what was happening inside of me. Thus, sometimes, although unwillingly and unknowingly, they'd add to the mass that was already accumulating inside. This is why I called this video the Resiliency Iceberg. I felt like there was this pressure to be strong, like somehow it was more valued in society. Always be excellent, always be okay. And thus, I'd keep my problems to myself and try to solve them by myself, and I would show face in front of my entourage so that they would not know what I'm dealing with. Or to follow the metaphor, what I was hiding under the surface. And some of my problems, I actually managed to deal with. But you know what icebergs are like. The part in the open air is always way smaller than what's underneath. Now that I think about it, I was being really ridiculous because I'd expect people to know what was going on with me without me having to tell them. And when they wouldn't understand and they'd keep adding to the mass under the surface of my iceberg, I'd get frustrated. Camille and her unrealistic expectations. I wanted to share my experience and my realization with you because maybe you're feeling the same way that I did before. Maybe you think that you can't share what's going on in your life because you feel like you'll burden your loved ones or that'll make you weak. You've probably heard this a million times, but it is really okay to not be okay. I think I've definitely grown and realized how much I was hurting not only myself but also the people around me by having unrealistic expectations of what being resilient is. I dissociate sharing my problems as being weak, and that's just wrong. It takes up a lot of courage to open up and share your problems with people because it puts you in such a vulnerable place. And by taking the necessary steps to help yourself face your problem, you are being resilient and bouncing back. You're finding and using the resources you need to make yourself feel better. And that's amazing. Although I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a reserved person. When something bothers me now, I try my best to open up to my loved ones or a counselor. And this has actually made my relationships grow stronger and happier. Bottom line is, don't let your iceberg accumulate under the surface. Don't make yourself implode. You'll only end up hurting yourself and your loved ones. Find help before your problems become too overwhelming. Thank you so much for watching my final UT Mental video. I'm kind of sad. And thank you for being so supportive throughout the series. Thank you for letting me share my thoughts and experience with you, and thank you for participating in the conversation. I want to hear about your relationship with resiliency. Do you have a resiliency iceberg? Shout out to the amazing HCC team that helped me make these UT Mental videos. Benita and Andrew, you have been so patient and so kind with me, and you are really lovely to work with. Thank you so much. Make sure to check out my teammates' vlogs for this final week of UT Mental, and although it's coming to an end, let's keep talking about mental health. Bye! Take care!